Netflix's story is truly a fascinating journey built on innovation, transformation, and the ability to adapt to change. To fully understand how it reached its powerful position today, we need to look back at its humble beginnings, follow its technological development step by step, and closely examine the strategies that turned it into a global entertainment giant. It all began with a fairly ordinary idea. NETFLİX was founded on August 29, 1997, in Scotts Valley, California, by Reed Hastings and Mark Randolph. The idea came after Hastings had to pay a large late fee for returning a VHS tape past its due date. That frustrating and annoying experience led him to think there had to be a more practical and accessible way for people to rent movies. From that simple problem came the foundation of a company that would eventually reshape the entire entertainment industry. At the beginning, NETFLÍX operated as a DVD by mail rental service. Customers placed their orders online, the DVDs were delivered directly to their homes, and after watching them, they would mail them back and request new titles. This model was very different from traditional video rental chains at the time. Companies like Blockbuster enforced strict return deadlines and charged late fees, which many customers found stressful and inconvenient. NETFLÍX, on the other hand, offered unlimited rentals for a fixed monthly subscription fee. There were no late fees and no pressure to return a movie by a specific date. For users, it felt freeing, flexible, and far more appealing. Still, the early years were far from easy. NETFLÍX struggled financially and faced serious uncertainty. In 2000, the founders even offered to sell the company to Blockbuster for $50 million, but the offer was turned down. In hindsight, this decision would later be remembered as one of the biggest missed opportunities in business history. Instead of giving up, NETFLÍX kept going. The company continued improving its system and refining its business model, determined to find a way forward. One of NETFLÍX's most important innovations was its algorithm-based recommendation system. Known as Cinematch, this system analyzed users' viewing habits and suggested movies and shows they were likely to enjoy. At a time when personalization was still a relatively new concept, this was a major breakthrough. It not only made the user experience more enjoyable and tailored, but also significantly increased subscriber retention. People were more likely to stay when the platform seemed to understand their tastes. In 2007, NETFLÍX made a bold and game-changing move by launching its video streaming service. This marked a radical transformation in how people consumed media. No longer did customers have to wait for DVDs to arrive in the mail. They could instantly watch movies and TV shows on their computers and other devices. At first, the streaming library was limited and the technology was still developing, but the convenience was undeniable, and users quickly embraced this new way of watching content. The shift to streaming was not simple. NETFLÍX had to negotiate licensing agreements with Hollywood studios and content providers, and these deals often came at very high costs. There were risks involved, and success was not guaranteed. However, this investment in digital technology turned out to be incredibly visionary. As high-speed internet became more widely available and online entertainment demand grew rapidly, NETFLÍX found itself in the perfect position to lead the streaming revolution. In 2010, NETFLÍX began expanding internationally. Canada became its first market outside the United States. In 2011, the service launched in Latin America and the Caribbean. Then, in 2012, it expanded into the United Kingdom, Ireland, and several other European countries. Each expansion brought new challenges. The company had to secure local content rights, understand different cultural preferences, and adapt its service to meet regional expectations. Despite these obstacles, international expansion became a key pillar of NETFLÍX's growth strategy. By entering new markets, NETFLÍX not only increased its subscriber base, but also diversified its revenue streams. reducing the risks of relying too heavily on the domestic market. One of the most transformative turning points in Netflix's history was its decision to invest heavily in original content production. In 2013, the company released its first major original series, House of Cards. Produced by David Fincher and starring Kevin Spacey, the series achieved both critical acclaim and commercial success. It marked a defining moment. Netflix was no longer just a platform distributing other companies' content. It had become a serious content creator in its own right. After that came a series of successful original productions, including Orange is the New Black, Stranger Things, and The Crown. These shows helped Netflix stand out in an increasingly crowded market. By offering exclusive content that viewers could not find anywhere else, the company created a powerful incentive for people to subscribe and stay subscribed. Original programming became one of Netflix's strongest competitive advantages. As Netflix continued to grow, competition intensified. Traditional media giants such as Disney, Warner Media, and NBC Universal began launching their own streaming platforms and gradually removed their content from Netflix. At the same time, digital competitors like Amazon's Prime Video service, Hulu, and HBO's streaming platform strengthened their presence with extensive content libraries and heavy investments in original productions. To respond to this rising competition, Netflix doubled down on its strategy. The company increased its spending on original content, expanded further into international markets, and diversified its offerings to include documentaries, stand-up comedy specials, and reality programs. It also invested heavily in technology to enhance the user experience. Features such as 4K and HDR streaming quality, along with the ability to download content for offline viewing, made the platform more attractive and convenient. The COVID-19 pandemic, which began in 2020, had a massive impact on the global entertainment industry. With lockdowns keeping millions of people at home, demand for streaming services surged dramatically. Netflix saw a significant increase in subscribers and overall viewing time. However, the pandemic also created serious challenges. Film and television productions were halted due to health restrictions, causing delays and interruptions in the release of new content. Netflix had to adapt quickly, implementing safety protocols and finding ways to continue production under difficult circumstances. Over time, Netflix has done more than simply change how we watch movies and TV shows. It has influenced popular culture on a global scale. Series and films released on the platform have become worldwide phenomena, sparking trends, social media discussions, and cultural conversations across different countries. Additionally, Netflix has played an important role in promoting diversity and inclusion by investing in content that represents various cultures, ethnic backgrounds, identities, and perspectives. Looking toward the future, Netflix's journey is still unfolding. The company continues exploring emerging technologies such as augmented reality and virtual reality, while also working to strengthen and expand its global footprint. The streaming market remains highly competitive, with new players constantly entering the scene. Yet throughout its history, Netflix has repeatedly demonstrated an impressive ability to adapt, innovate, and reinvent itself. In conclusion, Netflix's story is one of vision, persistence, and transformation. From a small startup mailing DVDs to customers' homes, to a global streaming powerhouse serving millions of people around the world, the company stands as a powerful example of how embracing technological change and bold innovation can reshape an entire industry. And judging by its track record, its journey is far from over.